All right, everybody, Brian Engelman back. We have split today's show up into two different parts. We're with Zak Baris. He's on Twitter at ZBaris. That's Z-B-A-R-I-S. If we're watching on Facebook, type some questions in, some comments. I'll try to get to them when we're talking with Zak as we discuss the 2017-2018 NBA season, finally underway after the soap opera that we witnessed. Wow. Where do we begin? I mean, do you want to go team by team as we discuss all the moves and the superstars that have switched addresses, trying to dethrone the Warriors? How do we want to approach this, Zak?
However you want to approach it, I'm willing to take it from there.
All right, then how about this? Let's start in the East. Let's start with, and we'll just go team by team through the East. Let's try it that way. Why don't we start with the team that advanced last year, the team that we mainly root for over here, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Let's break down what they have done in the offseason to change their roster and what it means moving forward.
So the Cavaliers have, Kyrie Irving is gone. Richard Jefferson is gone. They've added pieces like Jeff Green, Derrick Rose, Dwayne Wade, Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, and then you've added a couple of young European guys who probably won't see the court too much. The Cavaliers will look drastically different than they did a year ago. Drastically different.
It's incredible that but being that our team is looking drastically different, it doesn't look worse. It just looks different.
It's not worse. I think it's better than it was a year ago. I mean, don't forget, they're also not completely healthy right now. You're looking at one of the top scorers in the NBA last year. A top three scorer in the NBA is not is not playing right now. So take everything you see in stride tonight with the Cavaliers before you go and make a determination of how this team's going to do over an 82-game season based on what you see tonight against the Celtics. And, here's the thing. The Cavaliers, don't forget, Dwayne Wade just joined the team about 2 weeks ago. Something I'm glad it happened before the season rather than happening midway through the season. So, this allows them to gel a lot quicker than they would otherwise.
Absolutely. And the level of familiarity that Dwayne Wade and LeBron James already have for each other, that's got to go an extra mile on top of it, of being really one of those intangible things where it's almost like you jump back on and you're right where you left off. In a certain way, things have obviously changed, but knowing that out of the new guys, somebody's going to totally already get it, that's got to help. And we're going to start off going right to Derrick Rose. We're going to find out who he is and find out his.
I think you'll see Derrick have I think he'll be greatly improved offensively.
Greatly improved offensively. Third drop call. Fun. We'll get Zak back on the phone.
Then you've got Jaylen Brown, who last year showed very little offensively, and then Kyrie Irving. So I think you're going to see Kyrie's scoring output go way up this year. I think you'll see Gordon Hayward have a very good year. I think Boston will be the second best team in the East. But Boston's bench really is Marcus Smart this year, and Marcus Morris. That's it. They're 7 deep. They don't go further than that this year. And that's the problem. Boston, a team that's had a lot of depth over the last few years, is much more top-heavy than they have been in years past. And it remains to be played out. Yes, they do still have a lot of draft picks. They have Terry Rozier, too, but not a lot of guys that can contribute at the top of the bench that are going to provide you with quality minutes. Look for Boston to be a strong candidate at the buyout market this year.
Explain why.
Just because they need to add depth to their team. It's like the Cavs in years past. And if Boston's having a good season, guys want to join. I mean, here's the thing. If I'm a player and I'm being bought out, my first two options are going to be go to Cleveland or Golden State. And then I'm looking at Oklahoma City. I'm looking at Houston and San Antonio before I look at Boston.
Wow.
I'm looking how can I get to the championship and how can I get there the easiest way? If I'm a guy towards the end of my career, I'm still having a good year and I've got bought out. The teams I'm looking for first are Golden State and Cleveland at 1 and 1A. Then after that, my secondary teams, I'm looking at Oklahoma City, Houston, and San Antonio. Then I'm looking at Boston. So Boston is really the 6th or 7th team in line to land a buyout star. However, I expect them to add someone at the deadline.
What about Los Angeles? Is Los Angeles a player? The Clippers or the Lakers?
The Clippers might be. The Lakers stink. The Lakers will be bad this year, but they will at least be fun to watch with guys like Kyle Kuzma. Obviously Lonzo Ball, who I'm expecting. He's my expectation to win the Rookie of the Year. And like I said, even if Lonzo can't shoot, he's still a hell of a playmaker and a great player. So again, I still project him to be a worst case scenario. Literally, I love his court vision. Worst case scenario, I see him as a Jason Kidd type, and that's worst case scenario. But again, it might take him 4 or 5 years to get to that point. I'm not saying he's going to be a superstar overnight, because rarely does that happen in the NBA. But he's got unbelievable court vision. He's a good defender. He can drive the ball. His shot still, I don't love his release point on his shot. However, it's something that can be fixed over time, and it's something he can change. I mean, he is a very good player. Staying in the Eastern Conference, though, my third best team that I have in the East right now
Wizards?
would be the Washington Wizards.
And how realistic is it that they can come in and get the second slot or win it?
I think it's realistic, but I don't see them being able to compete again on the lines of going to a championship. I still think they're a very, very significant piece away from being able to compete competitively, to be able to get to a championship. They have 3 very good players on their roster that I really like in Otto Porter. I love John Wall, and I really like Bradley Beal as well. I think they're a very solid team, and I expect a lot of growth out of Otto Porter and Bradley Beal. I think John Wall, you already know my thoughts on John Wall. He's one of my favorite players in the NBA. But if they can get significant growth and get significant contributions as well from Otto Porter and Bradley Beal, and they can stay healthy, they will be the third best team in the East, possibly even the second best.
Then we're moving to the fourth best. Where are we at now? The Raptors?
The fourth best, I'm at the Toronto Raptors.
The Bucks? All right.
The Raptors are a team that we know what they're going to do. I have them at fourth just because they're going to win close to 50 games. They put up, they're a good team. Although actually, I'd rather have them fifth. I'd put Milwaukee at 4 this year. I expect Milwaukee to be the 4th best team in the East, and I expect Toronto to be the 5th best.
Yeah, I probably would have done a flip-flop there, too. What about the Bucks?
I think Milwaukee can even finish as high as second in the East as well. I think it's a crapshoot. I think Milwaukee could. I'm not saying they will, but they could win up to 55 games, depending on how, the progress you see from Malcolm, from Brogdon, guys like Jabari Parker, whether he's healthy or whether they trade him, having Chris Middleton healthy for a season, and obviously Giannis, just developing like he is. I mean, he's only 22 years old. So I think Milwaukee's the 4th best team in the East, but I could even see them as high as 2. Toronto, I have at 5. Here's where it gets tricky. The 6th through 8th seed is what.
Wow. Another dropped call. I'm telling you, this has been one of the more annoying videos I have done. My video recorder has stopped at least once, and the phone call has dropped. All right, so for some reason, this wants to keep stopping the recording, which is going to make for a fantastic, annoying upload. If you're watching it live on Facebook, that hasn't been interrupted since the first couple minutes that we started. We might post that as well. So make sure you're following us, youtube.com/TheNewAmericanMedia, vid.me/TheNewAmericanMedia, patreon.com/TheNewAmericanMedia, all of that stuff. Back with Zach, we were kind of talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks and the Raptors, and kind of around that point is when the call got cut off.
Yeah. So right now I have Milwaukee the 4 seed, Toronto the 5 seed, and then 6 through 8 is where it gets really tricky in the Eastern Conference, in my opinion. I really don't see any team that's even, I'm going to put Miami at 6 right now. Actually, I'm going to put Charlotte at 6. I think Charlotte's the 6th best team in the East. And again, I like guys like Kemba Walker, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, Nicholas Batum. I think, Dwight Howard's coming up. He should be coming up the bench. I think Dwight Howard, I don't think he's any good anymore. I think Charlotte's the 6th best team in the East. 7th, I'm going to take the Miami Heat. Not much to say about them, but I think they'll be there. They had a really strong finish to last season, and I'd like to see how they develop this season with guys like Whiteside, Dion Waiters. And then at 8, I'm taking the Philadelphia 76ers.
Wow. Leapfrogging all of those other teams, huh? Pistons, Pacers.
I mean, here's the thing. The Bulls are going to be historically bad. The Pistons will be mediocre at best. The Pacers stink. The Brooklyn Nets are really bad. The Knicks are really bad. The Orlando Magic are really bad. I mean, the East, the bottom part of the East is going to be so terrible, Brian.
What about the Atlanta Hawks?
They're going to be really bad too.
Knicks? Nothing out of the Knicks? The Nets?
No.
Wow. Okay.
No. I think Philadelphia finishes anywhere from 6 to 8 in the Eastern Conference this year. I think that the bottom 3 slots are pretty much decided, but it depends by who. Then you get over to the West, and the West is at the top. Obviously, Golden State's number 1 in there. Number 2, I'm going to take the Houston Rockets. 3, I'm going to take the Oklahoma City Thunder, which I love what the Rockets have done. They're going to be very interesting to see how they share the ball there in Houston with with Chris Paul and James Harden there. It's going to be very interesting. However, I really like Houston as that 2 seed. Oklahoma City adding guys like Paul George and Carmelo to play with Westbrook was very, very interesting there. I like Oklahoma City a lot in the West. And then San Antonio 4. I know it's low for them, but I mean, San Antonio with resting their players and stuff. I see San Antonio. I mean, either way, you're going to see 2, 3, 4. You'll see those teams the 2, 3, 4. 5, I'm going to go with Minnesota with additions like Jimmy Butler and Jeff Teague this offseason. So I see them at 5.
All right. Not much else to say other than if Tech didn't screw up, he wouldn't be doing anything for him. All right, we were talking about the Timberwolves.
Yep, I have the Timberwolves at 5. At 6, I have this is where it gets interesting. I have the Denver Nuggets at 6.
They just got Richard Jefferson.
At 7, yeah. At 7 is where, there are teams like, I've got the LA Clippers at 7. And at 8, I think you go between the Portland Trailblazers, Memphis. I go between Portland and Memphis for the 8th seed in the West. And even the Pelicans. But I'm going to go with Portland for the 8th seed.
What about the Jazz?
No, losing Gordon Hayward's too much of a loss for them.
Too much, huh? Who's going to be the worst of the worst over there in the West? Pelicans? Are they? What kind of players?
No, I think the Pelicans. If they struggle, will wind up trading Anthony Davis or DeMarcus Cousins. More likely Cousins.
Yeah.
But I mean, if they get the right offer, I think they could wind up entertaining the thought of trading Anthony Davis as well.
And what kind of moves? What kind of players would you just to kind of keep an eye on? Who do you think might come up as available as the season goes on?
I really can't tell you at this point, Brian. It's very hard. It's very hard to say. The Bulls don't exactly have the assets; they're completely rebuilding.
Right.
Look for a team like the Houston Rockets, but again, they don't have much to give up. The Clippers are one of those teams I can see doing something, but a lot of these teams just don't have the assets to give up. Phoenix does. Phoenix has a lot of young assets. So, I mean, look for them to be a player. Look for Portland to potentially be a player. Even Denver has a lot of young assets, too, depending on what direction Denver moves in. But they've got a lot of young assets, too. So, I mean, it remains to be seen. But, I mean, getting into it, I mean, I think you'll likely see a Cavs Warriors, a 4-peat in the championship this year.
And who do you see winning?
As of right now, today, I think it's the Golden State Warriors.
Okay, and obviously we'll have to see how the season plays out.
That can change, though.
Of course. Okay. All right. Well, Zach, let's call it a day on this one for now. I know we probably could have gone a little bit more in depth, but seriously, with the 7 disconnected phone calls, I think we'll quit while we're ahead. Thanks for jumping in today, talking about the Cleveland Browns during that first segment. Obviously, it's painful and it's annoying, and it is what it is, but. Luckily, the Cavaliers' season starting is hopefully going to take some of the sting off of the Cleveland Indians not still being in the playoffs, trying to watch that with the Yankees and the Astros and then the Cubs and the Dodgers. Are you still watching the baseball, Zach?
Barely. But
Same
a little
here.
bit.
Same here. Barely. So thank you, Cleveland Cavaliers. Tonight the season kicks off. Kyrie Irving and the Celtics. What the heck? Coming in, playing Cleveland. Is LeBron going to play? What's wrong with his ankle, man? Is he okay?
I think he'll play.
But is he okay? Is he pushing it?
I have no clue, honestly, at this moment. I think I don't think he would play if he's not healthy.
Yeah, that's true. And you think of Joe Thomas just kind of skipping a few preseason games and just saying, yeah, it doesn't matter. He'll play when it counts, and this one probably counts for a lot of reasons tonight. So we'll see how it goes, man. Zach, thank you for joining us again on the program, and we'll be talking with you soon. Okay, bud? All right, there he goes, everybody. Zak Baris. This was a technological show, let me tell you. This was a show for the ages, and now it's been chopped up so many times. I wonder if I even want to put it together in post-production. I will. I'll give you what I got. A couple awkward transitions aside. Zach usually gives us a lot of good information about NBA stuff especially, but, I mean, Indians, Browns, Buckeyes, we talk all sorts of sports over here. And if you're in the group on Facebook, make sure that you're going and telling your friends. Go to our page and then invite all of your Indians, Cavs, Browns, or Buckeye fans to the page. We want to double it. Well, what is it? Let's see if we can double it by Halloween. Let's double the group. Why not? Everybody invite your friends. And then invite them to invite their friends. This isn't complicated. But it is. It's a nice community that we've built up over the years. It's really nice to be a part of. I'm happy that you guys and girls enjoy showing up and talking sports and current events. We can agree to disagree on stuff, especially when the politics gets involved, and you can take it as seriously as you feel like taking and just try to be mostly civil about it. Just try to be mostly civil about it. We don't require perfection. None of us are perfect. But, the community is important. So don't run into the community like a bull in a china shop. If you got some points to make, you pretty much have all the room you want to make them mostly civilly. I wonder what the reception is going to be like for Kyrie tonight. I can't even look at his shot of his picture of him hitting the shot over Curry. I used to have it hanging in my office. I don't want to be reminded of it. It was the same way with LeBron in Miami. I didn't want to see him wearing that jersey. It creeped me out. So we'll see how Cleveland fans react. Cleveland fans who were kind of blindsided by this guy with 2 years left on his contract, 3 straight NBA Finals, hit perhaps the most clutch shot in NBA history, bring Cleveland its first championship in however many years it was at this point. And he wants out. Then you find out that he was being coached or guided or having some powwow idea sessions with a pastor that was involved with Justin Bieber right before he canceled his entire concert, the remaining dates on his concert. Makes for an interesting storyline. A couple of questions going on there. What is this about? What is this really about? Curious to see about the dynamics of LeBron and Kyrie behind the scenes. But that's the soap opera part of this. That's what makes this interesting, I suppose. So anyway, thanks for being a part of it. Hopefully we can reboot all the systems and keep that crash thing from happening like it did so many times today. But hey, till next time. Oh, Instagram.com/TheUnhappyHour. It's a specifically sports-themed page, which is different from Instagram.com/TheNewAmericanMedia, which is current events and politics as well. But we ask that you link up with us in all these different platforms that we're at. There's different stuff going on vid.me, different stuff going on YouTube, different stuff going all over. On Twitter at American_media_. All right, we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for watching. Peace.